Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day once more. Another look at SUI, see what's going on here. 393, that is a pretty awesome move there. So we're going to double check potential for further upside, of course, and or if the price pulls back, how much further down is it going to go? Just kind of get you some important levels here. As we see from yesterday's play out, the price action didn't come back down to retest 342 as that previous resistance. A lot of times when the price breaks out, it'll retest before it takes off. And a lot of coins lately have been just taking off without regard. So this is awesome stuff in a way, but bummer, obviously, if you had missed that opportunity. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at the backend data first as well, and kind of get a baseline on liquidation areas and just kind of see what that tells us. And if you are new to the channel, please hit the like button. And if you've been watching for a while, thank you again for always doing so. When we look at liquidation, though, just so you understand, the whole concept is just kind of recognize where people are hedged the most, right? Where is the most amount of liquidation? And this is where people are trying to put their stop loss and or their liquidation events occur there. In other words, we see these here, this tight margin, 395. Those are some very high leverage shorts that are more than likely going to get swept here soon because of the simple fact that it's just high leverage, it's easy, it's an easy target for the whales, okay? So take a look here, we can see 395 upwards of 4 to 410. So 395 to 410 is kind of that range of local liquidation. We can see liquidation delta is actually in pretty good shape. The lower this goes, the better we have a potential for the price going up because that means that longs are securing profits and they're not getting too crazy with their own leverage and or just securing profits. It's a good sign. I like to see this because this gets too high for too long. We can see a lot of problems often. 340 is that point of interest there, the open interest here locally. We zoom into the local time. Some people are in pretty heavy at 388. So again, try not to be a late long, folks. If you're going to take a late long, ensure you have a proper stop loss in place because there's no point in holding on to a late long like that at 380. Just say, for example, if the price action, pulls back, which it has, or goes back further, it's going to take a while for you to recover your assets, right? Not to say that we couldn't see $4 anytime soon for SUI. I think that's very likely, but on the same accord, try not to, if you're gonna be buying an overextended coin, use good risk tolerance because there's nothing worse than getting stuck in a position that eats up your percent of your portfolio and you can't trade with that, right? So anyways, that's kind of just some friendly advice. Taking a look at the daily time frame, let's recognize a few key factors here too. Which everything is bullish. So there's no other way around it. We said the same thing yesterday. We've been over 70 on the RSI. Till it comes back down, there's no reason to consider securing profits on a long-term hold, right? So the overall sentiment here is phenomenal for this coin. Daily time frame is looking great. 4-hour time frame tells us a slightly different story, but also still very, very good. We can see we're over 50 on the RSI here, and that is, generally speaking, a positive sign. We can also recognize we're over every single moving average. When we can recognize here, though, this is the great thing about this, the price came up to 70 on the RSI, pulled back. Now it's cooling off, so there's a stronger chance we're going to see more legs up here from SUI. Pending Bitcoin doesn't retrace significantly, because you got to keep in mind, this is something you got to recognize here. Bitcoin has been pulling back overall in the last, just say, 12 to 24 hours. Don't get me wrong, it's still very strong. It's still kind of increased in the last couple of hours, but when you compare that with SUI, you see this correction from this coin, about 7-8%, when Bitcoin pulled back by like maybe 1 or 2%, okay? So it does pull back with Bitcoin in some cases, so please recognize that. We start making a run towards 90, 89, 80, 88K, for example, then I would recommend, making sure you secure some profits on your long for SUI. And granted, it recovers quickly, it bounces back very fast, but hypothetically, the previous resistance at 340, that's the new support. So just keep that in mind, kind of remember that number. If you do happen to see the 340s again, that would be an excellent opportunity for a long. Again, try not to take a long in the blind. We want to reevaluate when we get there, but as you can kind of see here, every time SUI breaks through a resistance level, or establishes a resistance and then eventually breaks it, it turns into its new support. So you see that here pretty obvious at the 325, 330 mark. Couldn't pass that for like, a good day or two. It comes back to retest. Once it breaks it, that's the new support. Okay, and then it continues higher. So hypothetically, this continues the same process. We come back down at the 340 to 350 range, and then we leg up again from there. That's generally how that should work, and that's how consistent this coin has been, so it's awesome stuff. Anyways, 4-hour time frame is very bullish. There's nothing here letting us know that we may see a shift in momentum. The RSI is in perfect place. Money flow index is looking good. Everything's looking great for another run, another leg up. I would just be, and this is me being patient, obviously I'm overly patient and I can miss tons of opportunities. I totally get that, and it's not the right trading strategy for everyone. But I would feel more comfortable taking a long in the 345 to 350 range than I would taking a long right now. That's just me personally. Even though the likelihood of it still recovering over time and getting back into the green is greater, if you're going to trade with any sort of leverage and you got to hold on for a longer period of time, you're going to get eaten up on fees. Make sure you try not to get too crazy with leverage, of course, but if you were to, maybe consider waiting a little bit longer. Anyways, there's a decent amount of fair value gaps here too in the hourly, 350 to 357. 340 to 345. So again, a lot of times you will see candle wicks just clean those up. So I think we're probably due to see a little bit of a correction, but that's just me being cautiously optimistic. All right. Anyways, hourly time frame, Ichimoku. All green lights here to leave your position open. Just know we're about 4 or 5 hours away from that window of opportunity closing. Basically, it just means that when the lagging span intersects with the price action, that this uptrend has discontinued and there's a likelihood of the price to pull back a little bit further. It's just best practice to consider securing profits when you see that. That's all. It's nothing crazy. So either way you look at it, mostly bullish here still. So there's really nothing telling us that we're going to see a significant pullback. The only pullback that we could experience is if Bitcoin were to retrace. And obviously we retest that local high at 342 upwards of about 353. Okay, so just kind of that range there. So I'll post a playout chart, an updated playout chart on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. Be sure to check that out. Links down below for that. Looks a little something like this if you're not familiar. Keep in mind there is a progressive prize pool for BitUnix2. You get 60K prize pool spread among the top 20 traders right now. It's been a really, really good high volume month for our traders. So congrats on that. And generally speaking, I want to say thanks again for being an awesome part of my life. Deeply appreciate you liking the video. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.